see. So do you want to start with ATV stuff then?
Well, actually, do you see this map here?
Yeah.
Did you have copies of it? Did you see
We'll
copies of
go
that?
and get some copies. Yeah, we've seen some of that.
Yeah, and that's what got us in trouble in a way. Because when that was made public, showing the line around it, people that lived in that area were told that that was gonna have some effect upon them. And Congressman Boucher even sent out a letter to people, just in general that lived in there saying it wasn't, but the timber industry.
The trouble was that the history is that the Mount Rogers people's land was seized. The Mount Rogers,
Yeah, yeah, years before.
as public, took it as public domain. Took out of their homes, so people were legitimately concerned and they thought this was going to do the same thing. It wasn't meant to do the same thing. It was just, the industry said that it would. And that was the.
We were proposing that it be made into a national recreation area, like Mount Rogers is a national recreation area, which means less emphasis on timber and more on recreation. There is some timbering that goes on in a recreation area, but very little compared to a non-recreation area, like just a general district, like the Clinch Ranger District is. So the industry was opposed to that because they felt, well, they won't let us cut trees here anymore. And the reason we found out, well, Congressman Boucher asked the super why so many trees are cut on High Knob and on the Clinch District. And he was told by the supervisor because it grows good trees. And it is true, the soils and everything, it's ideal for, thus we had found out that more timbering took place on the Clinch District and then on High Knob than any national, in any district on the GW or George Washington or Jeff National Forest. So that was our proposal there to make it, and that's what sort of got us in trouble. And the industry has what they call wise use group. And they,
National group.
which promotes timbering on public lands. And they came in and prevented that from the recreation area from coming about.
Right. And then some of the other stuff in the pile then. Let's see.
Yeah, that wasn't a newsletter, that was one of the first publications we did. It wasn't a newsletter, just an information thing. Oh, yeah. And this had to do with the variety of things. I think this is one that was actually paid for by Greenpeace. They helped back when we had very little money. I was being paid by the state organization, Virginia Forest Watch, but the Clinch Coalition was part of that. I don't know what else.
That's some of this other stuff and that's the other one
Yeah,
there.
same thing.
So I'm gonna flip through those.
Oh yeah, our film festivals. What's the date? You can't tell the year, can you?
Not that at least, but that's the Wild and Scenic Environmental Film Festival.
And that might have happened, yeah. Did that happen here on
And
campus?
that-
Oh,
and that
no,
was still there.
that's right. No, we were actually in the movie theater here in town.
And so TCC was involved in that a lot, or?
Yeah, that was our thing. We made it happen. And that must have been, I don't know, around 2010 or something. In Patagonia was the funder, but also they set up this for all the groups that were getting money from them, we are getting money from Patagonia. And then they offered this film festival, meaning they had a whole lot of films you could choose from. And those were the ones that we had. One was even from a group in Ohio that similar to ours, and had done a film about what they did. And the two of their members came down and spoke. Well, one was a filmmaker, and that was at the theater here in town, in Norton.
So did the film festival happen a lot then, or was this just a one-time thing for
No,
y'all?
we did two at the theater, then we had them here, had a couple here on campus, involved with the, what's the student environmental group here called?
It is right now, I don't think that active on
Maybe
campus.
it's not.
I think it's not active, but there's conversation about getting it started again.
Yeah.
I think I just heard that like a month or two ago, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, Wally Smith might have been involved. Prior to that, it was Diana Withen's husband, Patrick. Yeah, I know he was advisor at one point. And I think Wally might have been involved anyway.
Yeah. Are the t-shirts ready to be photographed?
T-shirts can go and be taken care of then.
You can have all this.
Yep, sorry.
And is there a separate sheet for them so they can put the image file in there?
It is on both of these,
Okay.
and there is also the awards already in that room.
Okay, awesome.
So, next up, this is just for raffle tickets, but what is the Save the Hemlocks campaign for y'all? Is this a thing y'all?
No, that came later. The hemlock trees were hit by what's called the hemlock woolly adelgid, a disease. No, it isn't a disease. It is a bug.
It's a woolly adelgid.
It's a woolly adelgid, and it, of course, like so many, came in, shipped into this country from another country, Asia, I want to say in this case. You know, same way we get the stink bugs and other such varmints. And killing off trees, the hemlock, the eastern hemlock, not the western hemlock, as we found out later. What we heard from one of the biologist here at UVA-Wise, Phil Shelton. In fact, Maxine and I went on a vacation out west, and Phil said, "Well, bring back some western hemlocks. Let's see if they'll grow here." They didn't. We brought a bunch. We were at a state park in Oregon or California, and I forget which, but and I was talking to the ranger there. He said, "Oh, go up by the water tower. There's a bunch up there. Just dig some up, because I'm gonna have to bush hog up there anyway." And we brought him back, and several people tried to plant it. Anyway, this particular adelgid is, and we had two conferences on it, bringing experts in from the region. The first one was at Dungannon at the Raikamo Lodge, which still existed then. It was owned by the Nature Conservancy. Had the first conference there. The second, next year, we had one at Natural Tunnel State Park, and we were more advanced, more knowledgeable at the time, and treated the trees in their campground as a learning process using a drench method where you just pour this chemical around the roots of the trees. We put pressure on the Forest Service to actively do it, and they did, primarily though in their recreation areas and such, to protect people from getting trees falling on them as they die and whatnot. But with the other big thing is the city of Big Stone Gap, their watershed, Big Cherry Reservoir is their watershed, but the water doesn't come directly out of the lakes. It flows down this creek down to where they bring in the water, and that whole creek is lined with hemlocks. And if they had all, and I don't know what finally happened, but anyway, the city manager and the mayor came to these, the second one maybe, and they ended up getting involved with Virginia Tech, which was bringing in a beetle that would eat the bolete algae, and they were getting treatment there. Anyway, we had, and then a lot of people who had them in their yards and such, we helped them get the chemical. There were 2 chemicals that you could use, and we were able to buy it in bulk and get it to people to help save the hemlock. So that's what that means, save the hemlocks.
All right.
You asked me a question, I'll carry on.
You're fine. And then so raffle tickets, is that just a way to go and fundraise for just the general campaign, or was there several raffles that y'all had?
We've had several raffles. We've done them at the rally, at the Naturalist Rally, where members just bring in things to raffle off. Anything from a pair of shoes to, I think we brought cushaws from our garden one year. And then at our annual holiday dinner, beginning in December, we have it between Thanksgiving and Christmas, call it our holiday dinner. We have a raffle there. And this one might have been in conjunction, I'm not sure. We might, at the film festival, I think we might have done it as why. I don't know.
All right, that's
You
fine.
did.
Those are the
You
2
had
primary.
Shirts and things,
Yeah,
things in Patagonia that were raffle.
that's right. Packs and,
So that was all roughly in the 2010s or so, give or take a little bit, since that's,
yes,
all right.
I'll say so. That's close enough.
Close enough. All right then. Those I think are some more of your publications.
Yeah,
That one's done.
something from Sierra Club.
Yep, Sierra Club, Steward with Appalachian Voices.
Mhm.
Great. That is, if these are part of campaigns or anything like that.
Yeah, see, I haven't looked through these.
Mhm, yeah.
I see it too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just what it had to do with the flooding after flood events. Yeah, just showing, there's, I don't know, need to go through all that stuff. but
Stuff from 2001.
Yeah, so that's going back, you would get a real variety of stuff in there,
Mhm.
yeah. Oh, right, after the flood, I think there were several groups brought in, not groups, but biologists or whatever brought in to do a study. Like going up Big Stony Creek, there were all these slides on the side of the mountain, just incredible slides where the whole mountain like slipped and fell. And we went up and measured them. And they're quite steep. And then gave those measurements to hydrologists, is the proper name. Hydrologists that then determined, something or other. But yeah, see, like those are pictures of the slides. Some of the slides were just whole sides of the mountain sort of slid down, trees, and they were very devastated areas, and they were below where the clear cutting, or on part of where the clear cutting had happened. But as noted prior, this was not just national forest, it was also private forest. So the combination, and most often the national forest does not take into consideration the fact that what's happening on private lands around it. And one of the main things we complain about is they say they have to have early successional habitat, which means habitat for species that require early successional habitat, otherwise where trees are just growing up young to survive, and they survive well. That's happening off the national forest all around it, and they just don't consider that, and they say they have to have so much of that, which industry likes, because that means cutting more trees in one.
So did you win the case for that in some cases?
Yeah. Yeah,
That would be
They-
good to mention.
we have made them, they have taken that into consideration after a lot of pressure and, the assistance we get from Southern Environmental Law Center. The Bar Camp timber sale, we actually took to federal court with their assistance. Or them with our assistance.
And it looks like another of the maps that was used, and then, yes, some information on then damages and slopes. And
Yeah, is that from the slides?
That's it, I have.
Yeah. Our first employee, Karen. Moore. Yeah, Karen was before, and
That's right.
but not as full-time. Not as a biologist.
Alright, and then some more of the information on
Oh,
slope.
about this, yeah, on this one.
Yep.
Now we're getting to a whole different, that's a copy of, I mean, that's a picture of the band Blue Highway, who did two benefit concerts for us. But the one thing that attracted us to them was a song they did called Clear Cut.
And Tim Safford wrote.
Well, one of the guys was from Scott County
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and had a cabin up on High Knob. And they were up there practicing. And on the way or nearby, this timber sale was going on, and so they wrote the song Clear Cut. And not knowing about us, and us really not knowing a lot about them, I guess we'd heard of the band Blue Highway. We're not big bluegrass fans, but well.
Oh, they're very well known nationally and internationally, probably. And that
Well-
would be local.
Well, there's gonna be a big festival in Big Stone in a couple weeks. Yeah, but yeah, so we got to know them pretty well, and they did two benefit concerts for us, opening and ending it with the song Clear Cut. And that took place, the first one, let me think, well, between here and Pound at the elementary school, the Performing Arts Center. We had one of them there, were they both there? No, one was at the high school, no, I wanna say in Coburn,
Oh, yeah.
where our chairperson, Diana was, I'm not sure, that's the one that they performed. I think they did too.
They did.
Anyway, in one of the folders, there's a picture of them there, a picture of their, the billboard we put up with them on it. Anyway, I don't know why that picture's stuck in there, but a lot of loosely.
Well, around what years were those benefit concerts? No, it's a while ago, probably.
Probably before 2010. I mean, that's all, I got that somewhere, but not in my head.
That's completely fair. And it looks like similar images of,
Yeah, I'll repeat of stuff, yeah.
and then that's in place for y'all.
Yeah, that's just telling the value of various timber. I don't know. Oh, I know, portions of Wise haven't seen this in years. Oh, by each county.
Do something with the year on it.
2003. Oh, Benji Trail Days. Oh, we started a hike. I wonder if that was it.
Says Clinch Coalition Veggie Trail Days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that might have been the first hike we did.
Slick.
the High Knob Tower all the way down to Hanging Road. And that became National Trail Days was the first, I thought it was the first weekend in June. That was done later. But we did it in conjunction with National Trail Days. And did it overnight, or the first time we just camped out in a field. The next time we camped out. In the next few years, we did the camping out at Bard Camp Recreation Campground. They have a group campground we would reserve. And it was open to the public. And people would join us along the way and just hike part of it or all of it. We provided dinner and breakfast. They brought their own lunch, day packs, and yeah, we did that for several years and brought in new members that way. Yeah, that's a picture, one of those slides I was talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, well, maybe, no, it says it's something different.
Dave knew.
No, okay, that's
The George Washington.
he was chair of the state organization and went on to work for Sierra Club, Dave Muley. So that's not even on the Clinch district, it's probably in the Jefferson. He lived over on a district near Withville, the With district, though it might have combined with another, anyway, the With Ranger district.
It's also that overall like impact of logging.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, next thing is regulatory cut, educational, is that
Yeah, and
something
that was a state organization thing, Virginia Forest Watch, Sierra Club, Wild Virginia. Oh yeah, it was Wild Virginia by then. Wow. Yeah, that was a state. And yeah,
Did Clinch Co help with that in some way? Or
well,
provide some-
attended, had a seat on the board of Virginia Forest Watch, and I was a director. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jerry Scardo was usually between Jerry and Dita Davis. Dita was the first chair of the Clinch Coalition, and she has since passed away. And yeah, this is just some other publications. Now, some of these you might open and find something about.
See,
Some of them,
those.
I don't know. This was, yeah, fighting ATVs on it, I think, maybe not. Yeah.
Are you running out of paper?
Always running out of paper. I'm doing good. Then it looks like this is related to the round table, it looks.
Oh, yeah,
And stuff.
yeah, I got a whole mix
Or
of.
contact information and such.
Right, yeah, I didn't mean for us to have to go through all of this.
We can go and speed it up if you want, or find another file folder if that works, but these photographs, are they anything for y'all, or?
I'm gonna have them in the booth.
Or how about this one with,
There's Dita.
Okay, that's us meeting with,
There's Stan. That's Stan.
yeah, and this is the supervisor I mentioned,
okay,
and next to him is Sten's over there. There's Jerry Scardo. And deceased. Where's Dita? Did I see
I
Dita?
thought I saw Dita at the end.
No, that's Jerry. And Dick Austin, this is the, yeah, that's the supervisor. That's the Sten Olson is the district ranger. What was his name? At the time.
we can go over that in just
Yeah,
a moment.
he came down, took us out to lunch.
Alright,
I had to buy them all.
Huh?
Be here to watch.
Yeah, or we took him out to lunch, I forget which.
Alright, going off of what else is listed on these file footers, there's the ATV PR, ATV maps, ATV trail, TCC billboards, and then ATV petition. Wanna go and check out the petition and see what exists there, or?
Okay, there's copies of the petition for the ATV.
My old files.
They're pretty, you can see, pretty, messed up.
I still love them.
I don't know, and rusty. Yeah, but here's some signed petitions, the actual, these might be copies actually. But, yeah, that was a real victory for us, but as it turned out, at that time, though the Forest Service had been allowing ATV trails, they were closing them down in many cases because a couple reasons. People wouldn't stay on the trails, and even when they did, they would tear up the soils so badly, they'd have to close them down and redo them. And where they wanted to do it here on High Knob was really steep, and the soils were just real fragile. And as it turned out, I think the Forest Service didn't want to, but the group that did had local politicians behind them in Scott County, including Jerry Coburn and Terry. And Sten Olson even went to one of their meetings and was listed as a member, and we got on to him, the district ranger, for that. Anyway, it took a while. We had billboards put up on it. And there's even I was gonna say a picture there. Anyway, that was a major victory, even though, the Forest Service did, I think really didn't want it themselves. But with the political push it was getting, and I think Kilgore already had money from Virginia Department of Conservation and Recreation. He had something like maybe only $10,000, but it was a start to develop them. It might have been more than that. At any rate, he had money ready to come down, and so the fight was against the politicos more than the Forest Service, because they were, and that was a big victory for us.
With that many signatures, it makes sense. Is there
I know.
anything else that you can think of in here that you might remember seeing that you wanna go over, or anything else you wanna go and talk about? Go and
Seems like
speed
it-
run it rather than going through piece by piece.
Yeah, I don't think we
Yeah.
need to do any of that. Let me just do a quickie, but I don't think so. Which are these pictures of? Oh, these are just some ATV trails on some other, that's down. We had a real close relationship with Cherokee Forest Voices, which is Tennessee, which includes the Smoky Mountains and then forest all the way up into Brooklyn, south of Kingsport, Watauga, anyway, Irwin, but probably not. We did a hike in the area that was being affected, Laurel Fork, and there's a picture of Jerry and I think Joe, and that's what we had to hike down. It was one of the roughest hikes, no trail hikes we ever did. Either going down the creek like that or up in the rhododendron on each side. I think probably nothing else real. Oh yeah, that was it. Here's the billboard we did for the Blue Highway concert. Oh yeah, this will give people, damn it.
Here, you can put some stuff back on the table
Excuse me.
then.
What was, here's the, I got a year here somewhere, 2006. And that's with the billboard company, which was Stafford Communications, which is no relationship to the Blue Highway guy. So that's just paid for that anyway. know we did a number of billboards, not just for that, but for some other things.
Yeah, smoking billboard.
Yeah, well, some we made ourselves. Yep, that's enough.
That's enough? Alright, is there anything else you wanna go say, mention, et cetera, to go and put either mention to t-shirts, files here? We also have the bumper stickers, both the Let High Knob stand and then the other one as well that you brought. Anything else you wanna say about those? Alright.
So they've probably been covered.